Welcome into the Game Plan Commanders family. We sit down with head coach Dan Quinn to talk about our matchup at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And we head in the film room to talk situational football. They've been excellent at it. Can they keep it up?
And then Logan and I talk key matchups to get a victory today over the Pittsburgh Steelers. All that and more
on the Game Plan.
Welcome again, head coach Dan Quinn to the Game Plan. Coach, we can't bury the lead. You added a star in Marshon Lattimore. How does he fit with what you already built here?
Well, I think, number one, this is a real competitor and one who just loves competing to play. You can see that. And so play style, at the top of the list for us always. And so it takes a lot of confidence to go down and press and, take somebody on right at the line of scrimmage, stay connected in man-to-man. And so those are just a few of the things that he brings. But a lot of toughness, a lot of playmaking ability, a lot of swag to him to go aggressively, challenge people. So, man, we're really pumped to have him.
You talk about competitor. I mean, that just seems to be like the theme. Is that like the most important element of being a commander at this point?
I would say it's at the top competing.
Yeah.
That's the theme of the program. And so whether that's ourselves, seeing how good we can get, how good the unit can get. And so there's always an edge to find and a way to go further. And what Sean has demonstrated during his career, he's the player that's willing to go and find it and dig for it and battle for it. And in those moments in the hardest of games to be, right there on the matchup, that's the hardest one. Like he would run to that.
And Coach, since we're talking defense, let's stick to the defense and look ahead to today's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a quarterback in Russell Wilson. You're a little familiar with him.
Yes, I am.
What makes him such a tough competitor?
He has exceptional ability to throw the deep ball. And that sounds like, okay, well, a lot of quarterbacks can do that. But he has such accuracy both in and outside the pocket. And so for years, that has been one of his superpowers. He's got great ability to escape, to get outside, but his ability to deliver on the run, especially a deep ball, he is exceptional at it. And so we'll have to do a great job knowing that that's one of the things that he does really well.
And why, I mean, this is maybe too simple of a question, but that people don't understand why that's problematic. The Steelers want to run the football,
Yep.
but then they have this element now where he can push the football down the field. I'm sure that affects coverage structures, it affects matchups, it affects box counts. Can you talk about why that is such a difficult
For sure.
thing to deal
And
with?
when you have the balance between run and play passes that could generate big explosive plays, down the field, that's where you can change the math. 4-yard run, 7-yard run, 8-yard run, 25-yard pass. And so those are the ones that he has such exceptional touch on down the field. And not everybody has that, but he does, and that's one of the parts of his game that's really strong.
And Coach, Logan mentioned they want to run the ball. What has been your message to the defense knowing that they love to run the football?
Yeah, I think tackling always comes, at the forefront of it to make sure you know your fits and that you can go make your hits. And knowing your fits could be being in the right gap at the right spot. It could also be owning your leverage about where you have to be, knowing that Logan will do his job so I can do mine, and having that trust in one another. And so that'll be a game, that'll be an important part of this game in the run game to make sure that the guys know their fits and they can go make their hits.
And it's going to be a physical game, and I know you guys are wired the right way, your competitors, all that stuff. Is the messaging different? Is it emphasized more this week, kind of saying, hey, man, this is going to be a tough one?
I'd rather go just the opposite, man, and say
Really?
It is going to be physical, and we're going to make it that way too.
Because that's how we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but it's not going to be entirely different. They've got a fantastic identity about them and have for a long time, and that's who Mike is and who the team's been there. But we're also forming one as well. And there's all sorts of fun matchups in this game. Like, for instance, on the special teams, these are two of the best special teams units in the whole National Football League. And covering kicks and the physicality that goes along with that. It's not just the trenches. It's going to be all over this field on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I think one of the things when I'm on the sideline doing the radio stuff, listening to the special teams play, it's like a moment. It's like an event.
Yes.
Like helmets are clacking, guys are getting after it. So I can't wait to watch just dudes fighting for their lives out there, which is always fun.
An absolute battle. Excellent special teams matchups, all sides, way to cover and punting and kickoff returns. They've got fantastic return game. Just the special teams players. So it's a game within the game, and the field position is going to be critical to see where that can go from the special teams play. Pittsburgh's done a fantastic job in the turnover margin. They're at +10.
Oh, wow.
So they're one of the very best at that. And so that'll be another part of the game. the ball, the tackling, the field position. Those are real keys in this game.
And Coach, looking at the defensive line, guys like Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler have looked incredible and have fit really, really well. How have they impacted the rest of this defense with their play?
I think Dorrance is always on the sideline encouraging others, telling them what to do, where to go, how to do it. He's got such a professional way about him, and he's so consistent in that approach. Like, he's just somebody that, like, we all have friends that you count on no matter what. Like, no, they'll be there. They would show up for me. That's Dorrance. Like, he will be where he's supposed to be, doing the things he needs to do to help the team win. They don't always show up on the stat sheet, but he's always performing at this really consistent level. And then Dante brings energy. He brings big playmaking ability to the team. And so that kind of joy that he plays with kind of brings some other people along with them. And so, yeah, they're two fun guys to coach for sure.
Coach used the word big plays. When you think about our offense, you think about Terry McLaurin
I do.
and Jaden Daniels. Yes, sir. Talk about the way you've seen them be able to build chemistry so quickly.
It's impressive. And Terry's always had this really professional approach that I'd really admired. What I've further found out and have seen and heard on the sideline is also this leading that takes place and this competitor that has come out. And it's been awesome to see him up and down the line, talking to the offensive linemen, to the tight ends, just the energy that he can bring to our entire team. And so for me, that's been one of the coolest parts of this season so far, is to see somebody who's very professional but really had their own spot squared away, now affecting a lot of people. And early in my life, I probably thought leading was about me leading others. And now what I've learned, as I've got a little more chrome, that it's about developing and finding the leaders in others. And I've seen that in Terry, and to see now him lead in different ways. I saw it last week with Marcus Mariota talking to Chris Rodriguez on the sideline about the plays, what's going to happen, what's going to come next. And so when you see players leading one another, that's when you know you're on the right track with the right people.
That's incredibly special. And I think that's a big testament to what you've done. And like to see Terry's leadership style change, be a little bit more verbose. But, Jaden, for the fans at home, like, what kind of leader is he? Is he a loud guy? Is he quiet? Like, what's his superpower,
Yeah, for sure. He's quiet, but he has a real confidence about him. And it has humility with that confidence. So it comes across as genuine, as authentic. People have a lot of confidence in him because of what he's demonstrated being able to do. So the regard and the respect is there, but he's also put in so much work that the players have bonded with him in that way. And that's what's fun about our team right now. And even when Marshon came into the team, I said, you can ask anybody here, a veteran or a rookie. We're all on the same page here. You don't have to ask just a vet. Like, we all do things the same way. And so we have one standard. That's how we get down. So, like, anybody here, feel free to ask all of us. Like, we'll help you. We got your back. But you don't have to go to just to Terry or just to a leader. Like, everybody has the same standard here. So, like, they're all on the same page. So feel comfortable asking this person or this person. You're going to get the same answer.
And it seems like every single week we see a new test for Jaden Daniels. But every single time he rises to the occasion. Have you ever seen a rookie like Jaden Daniels before?
He's rare for sure, and he loves the challenge. Like, he, at his core, is a true competitor. And so that gets to be fully expressed every week. It's the learning that I see, so quickly. And he doesn't repeat mistakes. And the winning time moments for him are so big, and he nails them. A 2 minute at the end of the half, a 4 minute at the end of the game, when to go down the slide. And so not too long ago, we were sitting on this couch talking about he doesn't slide enough, and are you worried? And the world was falling. And that was not the case. He was going to grow. He was going to learn, and he has. And he's not stopping now either. And so that's the fun part of this. Like, we're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, and he's got another really interesting kind of test this week with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, you talked about their defensive identity. They've got some very talented pieces. Just high level, like, what makes them such a good, consistently good group,
Yeah, I think number one, all the pieces fit there. Offensively, special teams, defensively, there's a lot of excellent players.
Yeah.
It's not a one loaded side of the team and the other one's trying to keep up.
Good team.
They're balanced, and they have a way about them. They can rush. I think the turnovers that they've been able to generate, through this first part of the season has been outstanding. And so that part for us is one of our strengths too, of taking care of the ball and making great decisions with it. So all these storylines within the game, the special teams, the turnover margins, the field position, all of that will be on full display, in the game.
And you talk about the Steelers' rushing ability. We have a strong rushing ability as well. What makes a team good at that aspect of defense and rushing the passer?
Coordination, because you have to have the coverage that also goes along with it. It's not just, 4 guys or a blitz package to go. So Pittsburgh for a long time had a, big blitz package.
Yeah, huge blitz package.
Was part of the way they do. But when you have rushers like they do right now, you don't have to rely on some of the blitz to do that. So they're able to change and adapt and do what's best to win that game. And that's one of the reasons I respect Mike so much. Their staff, their team ability to adjust and change to what's needed to win.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think it would be remiss if we didn't talk about the offensive line and what a great job they've done. And I think about the best offensive lines I've played with, and they were just a bunch of grinders, man.
Yeah.
They just came together. And when I watch film, I feel like it's the same group. Can you talk about how the coaches maybe have helped bring this group together?
Collectively, that's the best offensive lines, right?
Yeah, 100%.
The communication, and if you had seen the communication happening from Nick Allegretti to Brandon Coleman in between series, this is gonna this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would love to play with him as a teammate, knowing that this person here has got my back. You see the work pre-practice and post-practice. So I love the connection that group has. That group has, but more than anything, man, they love to compete and battle, and that's what makes it so much fun on the game day. Coming off the field tired, like let's go for some more, but they're just gassed and like we're going back out again, man.
Yeah.
Like yes,
that's awesome.
So it's a fun
that's
group.
Great, man.
Yeah,
it looks like a fun group, man.
Yeah, it is.
It does, Coach. We can't wait to see you guys have fun today. But before that, you and Logan get to have some fun in the film room. Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, let's do it.
It was great hearing from Coach. Now let's hear a little more about this upcoming matchup. It's time for a competitive edge brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at the upcoming competition for the Commanders. Washington is 7-2 after 9 games for the first time since 1996. The Commanders' offense leads the NFL with 15 rushing touchdowns, and the defense has had 20 sacks over the last 6 games. The Steelers are coming off of a bye week and are 6-2, which is their best start after 8 games since 2020. The team is 2-0 since Russell Wilson took over as the starting quarterback, and their defense ranks in the top 10 for total defense. Now, if you want to hear more about this matchup, stick around, Commanders fans, because Logan and Coach head into the film room to preview this Week 10 game at home. And afterwards, we'll talk about today's must-watch matchups. The game plan is presented by Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. Welcome back into the game plan. It's time to go inside the film room, brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly.
All right, Coach, something that you've done an excellent job of this season is handling situational football at a high level, and it's something that I think is going to be critical to get today against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's talk about this 2-minute drive, the last game against the Giants. And again, there's so many good things to talk about. So we've got, about 30 seconds left in the game here. We get this completion. They do a good job kind of covering up. There's a little bit of pressure. Get the ball checked down right here. And I'm sure you guys think, let's get in field goal range. Let's have to play another day. And then all of a sudden, we get a great play here by Diami. He breaks the tackle, and we're off to the races. Things start to change on the fly.
That's right. 3rd and 19. That's not exactly how you're drawing it up. But you are right to say into this space, where are we at to punt, where are we at to field goal, where are we at into those spaces. So to get into the marker to go, all right, once we got to the spot, now we're into that spot. Now we can get to the next one knowing that it was inbounds, we would take it all the way down if we could use a timeout to go. But really a fantastic play by Diami, getting extra yards, to get us down the field.
A fantastic play, and I'm sure at some point you're like, hey man, maybe get out of bounds, but it's still an explosive play, gets you guys in field goal range, and then, we're playing the football game, and I love the urgency here by this guy with the black hat on the sideline of just making sure we get this timeout call, because every second matters in this situation.
Yes, you want to have the opportunity for a play prior
Yes.
to the to the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, next play, 11 seconds left. And I don't remember, in Atlanta, we always used to talk situational football. I don't remember. How many plays can you run with 11 seconds left with no timeouts?
For us, just in the end zone,
Just the one,
or
right?
out of bounds.
In one, right? Touchdown out of bounds because we don't have enough time to get up and spike it,
And
correct?
you didn't want to be vulnerable where you could lose potentially points at the half.
Right.
And so this one at a 2-minute at the half, if you can take a shot into the end zone, you can.
Yeah.
But you can't leave it in the field. You just don't know this guy coming from all the way back here who has to spot it,
The
Logan.
guy who's, he's got a long way to go, man.
We don't know that athlete, and so we don't want to leave it up to them. So this is a time that we would call O-zone, where you have to throw it in the end zone, or if it's not there, throw it out of bounds, knowing that you're going to attempt a field goal on the next play.
And so a lot of really good things here. We got great protection up front. We got a nice little stem here, and then a great ball placement by our guy, Jaden Daniels, just to maximize kind of this opportunity and ensure, hey, if it's incomplete, we still got the field goal. Yep. If not, we're going to get a touchdown.
Yeah, good protection, a good clean pocket, and then the connection with he and with Terry. It's a good route. It's a strong throw that really the only person that's, it's in the right spot for Terry, quite honestly. Like, he could have just handed it to him right there.
And you guys rep this so often. You can tell you guys talk about it because no one's frazzled. Everyone's on the same page. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, those cue words and things to go in the end of the game, you don't need a lot of them, but you need to know this is how we get down in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And so obviously this is 2-minute. Everyone's very familiar with 2-minute, but another really important situation is the 4-minute situation, right? We're trying to possess the football, keep our defense off the field, and make sure that we possess the football, winning the game, right?
Closing it's as big as it
right?
gets,
Yes,
man.
right? Got to finish the knockout. That's exactly right. And so this play I love because it's about 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game. They don't take a timeout. You have the 2-minute warning coming up, so you know the clock is going to stop if this is an incomplete pass.
So this is what we would call a free play,
free play,
where you have the ability to pass it, Logan, because if it had been incomplete, there's not a penalty that would have been, like if it had been at 2:40 and you run it, you need to take it all the way down to the 2-minute. But with only 4 seconds left, an incomplete pass is still going to take you to the 2-minute warning. So in this instance, the plays prior for Jaden and the offensive guys to lead into that, to use the clock, knowing now you have a free pass opportunity.
And I think it's just such a great play call. We got a little bit of play action here. These linebackers are all stepping up. We create a nice little window back here. Really nice ball. And again, you need these types of plays in 4-minute situation to ensure you finish with the football. And I think just a great job by Cliff and understanding the situation and making sure the players understood the situation too.
Yeah, to lead you down to the last parts of the game.
Yeah, 100%. And then this is one of my favorite plays of the game. I'm standing over here on the sideline someplace.
Of course it is. We're blocking.
Yeah, we're blocking. Yeah, we're getting after it a little bit. But right before this play, number 23 here looked at you and said, "Can I score a touchdown?" And you were like, "Go for it." But I love, again, the awareness of the whole team to understand the end of game scenario.
Yeah, we were in a specific spot where a first down was very close to the end zone.
I think it was like right there.
It was. And we wanted to get the first down and not have to score, but that's a difficult thing to do with 1 yard to go. And so Chris was really aggressive, and he played downhill. And it's a great opportunity, Logan. You know this, for a teammate to demonstrate he's ready for it and say, I'm down for the cause, and I will fight and be ready. And so he demonstrated that. And in this game, he had some really tough inside runs, and this one allowed us to close it out, where now we could kneel it and not have to go through the whole next process, then kick an extra point and give them another chance.
Yeah, best play in football is that victory formation, but just want to point out a couple guys here. It's hard to run the football in 4 minutes, and I see guys absolutely fighting their tails off here, and runners running hard. We got 2 hands on the football. Just shows a really great awareness and understanding what it takes to close out a football game.
Yeah, because in this time, you have to run it, but you also have to possess it. You can see Chris into that spot.
He's locked in
and the clasp over top of it, so he knows what's at stake.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, again, just this situational football coach, it's been so good all season, and it's going to be great again today versus the Steelers.
Yeah, the guys are getting stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want more insight on today's matchup against the Steelers, you should be sure to check out our Game Day Commanders coverage. At noon, B. Mitch Santana and myself share in-depth analysis on the Commanders and give you a live look into their warm-ups. Then, immediately after the game, we'll be back live to share our reactions to the game, as well as coach and player press conferences. You won't want to miss all of the great analysis and live looks on the Commanders' Facebook, X, and YouTube. And stick around, Commanders family, because Logan and I will be right back to talk about today's must-watch matchups. That's all on the Game Plan. Now it's time for your Prime Player, brought to you by DC Prime, Loudoun's premier steakhouse. For dinner reservations or private dining, call 703-840-2099. This week's Prime Player is wide receiver Terry McLaurin. McLaurin has 6 touchdown receptions this season, his most in a season since his rookie year. That was back in 2019. Last week, Terry had his 4th career multi-touchdown game and the 2nd multi-touchdown game this season. With 420 career receptions, McLaurin needs 2 more receptions, just 2, to pass Jerry Smith for 6th most receptions in Washington history. And if you want to stay in the know with Terry McLaurin and the Commanders, I have great news for you. We have Commanders content going out every day of the week. Be sure to subscribe to the Commanders YouTube page and turn on the bell so that you get notified every time we post. Now, it's time for your Ticket to a Win, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek. So Logan, our keys to a win, of course, our must-watch matchups. First up, TJ Watt versus Wiley.
Yeah, this is maybe the most impactful matchup of the game. This guy's got 4 forced fumbles on sacks. He's one of the most prolific pass rushers in the NFL. And our guy Wiley's had a great year. But it's going to take a full hands-on-deck effort to stop this guy, and Wiley's going to bear the brunt of that because he likes to rush on the offensive right side.
Joey Porter Jr. versus 1-7 Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, and so he's tracked the number 1 receiver a little bit. So I'm curious whether they're going to have him track Terry in this game. And then he is a press man, physical corner, in your face. Terry is a physical son of a gun, so I can't wait to watch this matchup.
Commanders fans, these are your must-watch matchups to get a victory today against the Pittsburgh Steelers. For head coach Dan Quinn, Logan Paulson, and Brian Colbert, this is the Game Plan. See y'all next Sunday.